Hey, Joy FM friends. Oh, Hollywood is all abuzz, and it's all about this movie right here, Jesus Revolution. I am so excited to be here in Hollywood on the red carpet talking with some of the stars, the directors, and the producers all about what you can expect from this film. I just want to first get your reaction on getting Jesus right here on the marquee, right in the middle of Hollywood. I mean, this makes a huge statement that I think is so needed. So I want to start with your reaction there.
Well, to me, one of the most exciting things about this film is the words Jesus Revolution will be on marquees of theaters around the country. It's just going to be released in 2,700 theaters. And I love the fact that Lionsgate, a major Hollywood film studio, put their weight behind a film with this title, but even more than the title, behind this film in general and the message of this film. I think in many ways this film is grittier than most what we call Christian films are, but I think it's also more infused with gospel than some Christian films are. So I think it's kind of, it's honest, it's real, it shows twists and turns and failures that people had, our characters, but then it shows how God worked despite it.
The name literally Jesus on the marquee in the heart of Hollywood.
Seriously.
I mean, this is something to be celebrated.
It is, and it's amazing that a studio like Lionsgate has gotten behind this movie. And when you see the film is like...
I've seen it twice.
I've seen it 3 times. One of the best films I've ever seen.
Really, it is.
Seriously. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I'm saying it because I believe it.
Yep.
And anyone watching this film, I think their life will be changed.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like, before when we first got here today, I went out with the footprints and everything, and I saw all the famous names, and I'm like, this is kind of the pinnacle of, a shrine to human achievement, to our idols and people that I love, actors and filmmakers. But for the first time to have Jesus back on the marquee and him be at the top of it, like, that's a moment. And it's a moment that you can't predict. And it was just surreal. And it was just an honor to be able to portray this story in this environment.
It feels like there's a movement happening before this. I mean, and there's been so much prayer, I think, before this has even come to this point now. Are you and the team feeling it?
Yeah, it's one of so much of a story happens with timing, and it's something you can't predict. And but there's this revival that's going on in Asbury right now, and in Kentucky. And people have even accused us of using it as a marketing tool, that we somehow engineered it. I'm like, we have nothing to do with it. And it's like, so that Asbury revival, when this story happened, it happened in 2 places. We cover the West Coast in our story, but it also happened at Asbury College. It started in 1974, February 8th it started, so 50 years ago, 73. And so 50 years later, it's happening again. And so for me, that's exciting. It means that I think the timing's right.
But in 2023, when we've seen the progression of these faith-based films just keep getting better and better, I mean, I can't help but God knew this is the time that we would be in, and this is the kind of things that would be needed to reach this new generation.
The whole idea, no one knows the time, that verse. I mean, we don't know what God's plan is for all of this in a lot of ways, except that we're here and we try to live out our best, our reason for being here right now. And I think these movies encourage people in a different way. They bring people to higher levels of insight to who He is and the purpose that God has for their lives. And no matter where you are or what side of the aisle you're on, like, ultimately, there's a greater purpose for our existence here on this planet. And that's what these movies help us to see.
It's pretty powerful. I know you're a believer as well. Have you let that sink in yet on how powerful this is? Hollywood?
I am trying to understand, I think, how powerful it is. I think it's, this is blowing my mind. I'm so humbled by just being in this room with these amazing people. And I think the effect that this movie will and can have, I think is still not quite maybe settling in. My hope is that it just sweeps across the country and there will be just a revival of love.
How do you feel about tonight? It's pretty cool to get a movie here in the middle, the heart of Hollywood, with Jesus on the title. It's not every night.
No, it's
not every decade.
certainly not. No, it's fun. It's very surreal. You know, like I'm representing the music faction of this, not so much experience in the acting lane.
Yeah.
So it's
Music was a big part of it.
It's very novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, music was. She was great. We met in Alabama, and
Your acting was great, by the way.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We just kind of winged it. You
You
know?
totally killed it. I mean, it's funny. Some people like can't play themselves. Like it's like you're asking a musician to play a musician, and they're like so awkward and weird. But you definitely were a musician playing a musician. I believed you.
Oh, awesome.
So that's definitely a win.
That's the only review we need.
Oh, that's good. I wanted to, I think your character is so relatable, and the fact that it's sometimes very hard to stand up to our parents and kind of the older, the elders, which is what you did so beautifully. What is your message, I think, to today's youth that are seeing things in a different lens? It's a different generation. It's not going to be the same revolution that it was in the 70s, but it's still going to require bravery, courage to go against the current.
I think Jeanette has a really good relationship with her dad, even before she kind of brings up some of her ideas to him. They have a good relationship, and I don't think every kid has that, which is difficult because I do think that, like, parents
speak the truth in love.
Right, because parents listening to kids and kids listening to parents is both valid. So I think, like, listen to your parents and they'll listen to you and vice versa, and everyone just needs to have an open heart and get all of their preconceived, like, feelings out and just listen to each other, I think that is something that Jeanette and Chuck have that I think everyone can definitely bring into their own lives.
The ability to have Jesus as a part of not only just a film, but in the heart of Hollywood right now, there are going to be people that take away things I think that are meaningful for their lives, and that's important to be able to recognize that. So I'm thankful to be part of it. I'm super proud of it, and I've met some really cool friends that I think have for a really long time in my life because of it.
You can't help but driving into LA and seeing all the posters and all the different films and all the different content that's being put out there, and then look at here. A movie with literally Jesus in the title at the Chinese theater.
I know, it's cool. That was important to me, was like, hey, do we do it in Nashville or whatever? I said, you know what, I want to make a statement in downtown Hollywood. I just really do. I want to have Jesus Revolution, the name of Jesus, just up on these billboards and whatnot for people to see that. Obviously, this stuff would get on social media, and that's important for me. And Lionsgate said, all right, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. The movie's that good. We're going to get behind it. So, it's exciting. Tonight's exciting. Next week's going to be exciting. Can't wait.
Our country is a dark and divided place, but now there's hope, and it's spreading.
This is your home, and I want you to tell all your friends about it.